Once upon a time, in a quiet little village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling lake, there lived an 8-year-old boy with a head full of dreams and a heart full of curiosity. He had curly hair as dark as the night sky and eyes that twinkled with mischief. He always wore a red backpack, which was almost as big as him, filled with imaginary treasures. His name was Omar. He loved adventures and fantasized about exploring faraway lands and meeting magical creatures. But there was nothing exciting happening in his village. At least that's what he thought, until one day when he discovered a secret that would change everything. One lazy afternoon, while the rest of the children were playing by the lake, Omar was sitting alone under his favorite oak tree, kicking at stones and sighing dramatically. "I wish something exciting would happen," he mumbled, staring at the ground. But deep down, he knew his own daydreams were to blame for his boredom. Just then, a soft glow appeared in the forest behind him. The sunlight filtering through the leaves seemed to shimmer and dance in a way it had never done before. Curiosity sparked in Omar's eyes. He stood up, his red backpack bouncing with him, and cautiously approached the edge of the woods. Peeking through the trees, he gasped. What he saw was unlike anything he had witnessed before. Between the trunks, a golden light was dancing gracefully, weaving a path that seemed to lead into the very heart of the forest. It was as if the sun itself had come down to play hide and seek. "What's that? I've never seen anything like it before," he whispered, his voice filled with wonder. As the minutes passed, the light continued to shimmer, beckoning Omar deeper into the woods. Unable to resist its call, he took a step forward, then another, and soon he was walking along the path created by the dancing lights. The air around him buzzed with energy, and the trees, adorned with blossoms of every color, seemed to form a tunnel leading to a place unknown. With each step, Omar felt a surge of excitement mixed with a touch of fear. This was an adventure like no other, and he couldn't help but wonder what lay at the end of this magical path. Suddenly, the light in front of him grew brighter, revealing a sight that took his breath away. Standing before him was a tiny fairy with sparkling wings that shimmered like 1,000 stars. Her dress was made of flower petals, and a crown of woven leaves adorned her head. Her eyes twinkled with amusement. "Well met, Omar," she said, her voice like the tinkling of bells. "I've been waiting for you for me." "But how?" Omar asked, his eyes wide with surprise. "And who are you?" "I am Lila, guardian of the Rainbow Bridge," she replied. "And only someone with a brave heart can cross its path." "Rainbow Bridge," Omar echoed, his gaze drawn back to the path he had just walked. It was as if the light had woven itself into a bridge that now shimmered before him like a promise. But there was more. As Omar looked further, his jaw dropped. Stretching across the sky in all its glory was a giant rainbow bridge, its colors vibrant and its arc seemingly endless. It was as if the sky itself had been painted to lead him here. "Where does it go?" Omar asked, his voice barely a whisper. "To the Island of Wonders," Lila said, her eyes sparkling with magic. "A place where dreams take flight and wishes come true." Before Omar could even respond, a smile crept onto his face. The chance to visit the Island of Wonders was a dream come true. But Lila's next words brought him back to reality. "Be careful, Omar," she said, her voice suddenly serious. "Only those who help others can make it across the bridge." With these words, she fluttered away, leaving Omar to face the challenge alone. Taking a deep breath, Omar stepped onto the rainbow bridge, determined to reach the magical island. As he walked, the colors beneath his feet swirled and danced, almost as if celebrating his journey. But halfway across, the rainbow began to vanish. Panic surged through him. Was he not worthy? Would his dream adventure end here? Just when his hope started to fade, Omar noticed something. A small bird was trapped in a net, its wings entangled, unable to fly. Without hesitation, Omar jumped into action. Quickly, gently, he freed the bird from the net. As the tiny creature flew away, chirping joyfully, the rainbow bridge glowed brighter than ever. Encouraged by this, Omar continued his journey, his steps lighter, his heart brimming with determination. The remaining path shimmered before him, guiding him towards the breathtaking sight that awaited at the end. And what a sight it was! As Omar reached the end of the bridge, the mist parted, revealing a magical island floating amidst the clouds. It was as if the sky itself had decided to come down and rest upon the waters below. Lush green trees adorned with blossoms of every hue stretched towards the heavens. Sparkling waterfalls cascaded down cliffs of crystal, forming pools of shimmering water. And above it all, luminous lanterns floated, casting whimsical shadows on the ground. But the wonders didn't end there. As Omar stepped onto the island, the trees rustled, and to his astonishment, he heard them whispering secrets only the wind could carry. Delighted squeals echoed through the air as candy trees laden with sweet fruit swayed in the gentle breeze. Talking animals strolled leisurely, their eyes twinkling with wisdom. It was a place where fantasy and reality intertwined, where nature's bounty knew no bounds, and where the air itself tasted like sweet dreams. Overjoyed, Omar realized that the Island of Wonders was even more spectacular than he had imagined. He spent what felt like hours exploring the island, making friends with giggling mushrooms, chasing fireflies that left trails of stardust, and listening to the tales spun by ancient trees that had seen countless seasons. The time he had longed for had finally arrived, filled with magic and wonder. But as the first rays of sunset began to paint the sky with hues of orange and purple, Omar knew it was time to return. With a heavy heart, he bid farewell to his newfound friends, promising to return soon. Hand in hand with Lila, Omar retraced his steps across the shimmering rainbow bridge, their figures silhouetted against the backdrop of the setting sun. As they neared the end of the bridge, Omar turned to Lila, his eyes shining with gratitude. "Thank you for showing me the Island of Wonders, Lila," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "It was more magical than I ever dreamed. The magic was within you all along, Omar," Lila replied, her voice echoing with wisdom. "You found your adventure by helping others, and you carried that magic with you to the Island of Wonders." With a final wave, Lila disappeared, leaving Omar to make his way back home. The forest, bathed in the soft glow of twilight, seemed to whisper secrets only Omar could hear. The flowers, now closed for the night, nodded their heads as if in farewell. As Omar emerged from the trees, the familiar sights and sounds of his village welcomed him back. The lake sparkled under the moonlight, and the houses looked cozy and inviting. Yet a part of Omar wished he could stay in the magical realm he had just discovered. But as he walked towards his house, a sense of peace settled over him. His daydream adventure had become a reality, not because he had wished for it, but because he had opened his heart to helping others. That night, tucked safely in his bed, Omar couldn't stop smiling. The Island of Wonders wasn't just a dream. It was a place he knew he could return to whenever he wished. And he knew that with kindness and a helping hand, anyone could find their own magical adventure. From that day on, Omar's life was forever changed. He continued to look for adventures, but now he knew that the real magic lay in the power of helping others. Whenever he saw someone in need, he remembered the glowing rainbow bridge and the talking animals of the island. He lent a hand, offered a kind word, or shared a smile. And in doing so, he realized that real magic wasn't just found in faraway lands, but in the connections he made and the difference he could make in the lives of those around him. Omar's story became a legend in the village, a reminder that magic is real and it begins with a kind heart. And so, if you ever feel bored or wish for something exciting to happen, remember Omar's tale. Look for the magic in the everyday, help those in need, and you might just discover that adventures are closer than you think, hidden in plain sight, waiting for a kind heart to uncover them. The end.